up because
against Sam Barbosa.
I wouldn't be surprised to see an aggressive match here, but I also wouldn't be surprised to see. I mean, Sam's already had 2 grueling matches, so we'll see how that goes from here. So
I think George is going to really try to push the pace and try to get this fight done before overtime, especially after when you see a teammate lose in overtime and a couple other tough competitors lose to Sam in overtime. I don't think he wants to take it there, where Sam clearly has a lot of experience. And again, if Sam is going to play very smart and outside, it's going to be hard for George. Sam looks to be limping a little bit. I did hear in our intermission that he may have popped his knee against Chris Wojcik in one of the leg lock entries.
could be why he employed the strategy he did in the second match.
Could be. Yeah, he definitely looks to be favoring that.
Yeah,
leg.
that's
not a good sign.
He's not in a good spot right now.
Leg locker like George. George is going to definitely try to attack that as any good competitor should. Again, Sam's going to look to play smart and look to get to his kind of control positions. And again, my guess would be try to get to that overtime, but we have 9 minutes left. George looks a little bit more aggressive this round.
Yeah, I mean,
he does not want to deal with that overtime.
Sam really didn't expose his injury in the last match, but now, as time's going on, swelling's starting to kick in. We're definitely starting to see that play a factor here.
George is already in a good position.
Wow,
he's got the arm isolated
here on an arm.
Similar entry that he finished his second fight with.
Look at that. He's already deep on a Kimura here. Maybe trying to spin through, transition to a straight arm lock.
This is where George wants to be. Clearly an attack he's good at.
Yep, he may use it to also hunt the back here.
Sam being such a tough-to-submit opponent.
There he goes. He takes the back off of it.
George got the back, and now he's going to look to isolate the arms.
Oh, there's the arm isolation. Oh.
George is going to look to come through.
Sam does a good job of getting everything back in. Now George is in a great spot. 8 minutes to work. This is not where Sam wants to be at all here.
8 minutes.
They're still relatively dry, so he's got plenty of time to try to bring that leg through. George aggressively putting pressure on Sam's head, trying to peel with his feet, open up that block. Sam doing such a good job not letting his arm come through.
Yeah, Sam is big for this weight class, and I think you're seeing that come through right in these situations here. Just being able to be the bigger, stronger competitor.
That guy is hard to submit.
Yeah, he's hard to submit. Big, strong guy. And now he's in a closed guard position here. Similar position against Enrique. Let's see if he employs a similar strategy, just trying to stay structurally sound, trying to ride it out to overtime where he can put the less amount of stress on his knee as possible.
About 7 minutes for George to attack. The grit that Sam has shown, clearly his knee's injured, and he's in his third fight of the day against a third really tough opponent. Again, make sure you really evaluate that second match a little bit. And it explains why he changes strategy so much. If you're George here, how much do you really try to attack?
I think given how you saw his last 2 matches go, you're not thinking overtime at this point. You should probably be hunting for the submission because
what George generally will do anyway is such an aggressive competitor, but you almost have to open and put yourself in a position where you might get past to try to finish the submission.
Yeah, you have to create some sort of a scramble. George already got into a position where I feel like that was, we've seen him employ that same position. It seems to be one of his go-tos, and, he's got to be feeling, a little weary after that failed attempt. Okay, we're sweeping here straight to the mount position. We could be looking to set up another arm bar here.
Similar thing happened in Sam's first match, where he got swept to the mount, was able to escape and get free. So we'll see if he has the same success now in the semifinals. It almost seems like he doesn't even defend that mount sweep. He's almost, happy to be here because as long as his elbows are in, he's in a safe spot.
6 minutes left.
George is going to look to aggressively fight those elbows up, work his knees up to try to isolate. Sam's able to, again, escape that mount with very little energy, just keeping those elbows in.
Very good escapes. For being somebody that's injured right now, he could have easily pulled out of the tournament, so props to him for continuing to fight, even though he seems to be very limited in his movements and what he can do right now. And you can see him very clearly, visibly limping. He's clearly in some pain right now, and you got to think that that's going to play a huge factor on trying to pass. It's going to be very hard to pass someone's guard like George where, one knee's injured. It's going to make things very difficult for you. going for an arm drag here. Doesn't make anything out from it. George is kind of feeling him out.
5 minutes.
We got 5 minutes, and George again in on that arm. Same entry.
Beautiful transition.
And we're going to see if he opens his right leg wide to try to take the back off of it one more time, because it looks like Barbosa's left hand is in the middle of his legs. Ooh, and now we're in a little bit of a different position here. Okay, so he transitions his hands to the Kimura grip, and now we are in sort of a Kimura trap position here. And now
He's cleared the leg.
George is using that right leg to really frame it. Oh, and we're going to maybe transition to a triangle here.
George using a good hip switch to get Sam back far down.
And Sam is just so hard to submit, man.
He's
He's
back up
just
with
so
his elbow
big and strong.
Another stand.
Really good job. Really good perseverance. Being able to escape like that with an injured leg. I mean, he made that look easy. So that's
4 minutes to go. George with a couple of really beautiful arm lock attempts, and Sam just having none of it.
4 minutes remaining.
It sounds like they're talking a little bit in the match.
Yeah.
Can't really hear what they're saying. but
some verbal exchanges. I think Sam was talking in his last couple matches, especially the one with Enrique. So it's good to see some comfortable
Gamesmanship.
spirits out there. Yeah, a little bit of gamesmanship as well. He's laughing. He's having a good time out there. I mean, we all love doing jiu-jitsu, so.
just under 3.5 minutes left. So we're getting into that, last half of the match where we're getting towards the overtime. George is trying to do everything in his power, I'm sure, not to get there, like we mentioned. Really trying to climb those hips up, trying to isolate those arms. Sam's doing a really good job keeping his elbows, trapping George's hips, and keeping his hands on that inside line. As you're teaching a beginner's jiu-jitsu class, if your hands are on the inside the arms, your head's on the inside line. It's so hard to attack from the bottom.
3 minutes.
It really, really isolates your opponent from his hips and makes it hard for him to create an angle of attack. George is working really hard, barely keeping his guard closed, constantly opening it up, constantly pulling the legs free, constantly putting the feet on the hips.
A lot of dexterity here,
Yeah.
trying to.
George is trying to do everything he can to get to
Sam's shoulders are just too broad. He's just too big.
2.5 minutes now. George just opens the guard, scoots away, giving up his closed guard. Opting, I think, for a little bit smarter strategy. Forcing.
Damn. Yeah, you can see him wincing in pain there when he puts some pressure on. I can't tell if it's his right or his left leg.
I believe it's his right leg, but he's favoring that one, but it's...
I'm trying to set up an arm drag here, try to open things up, is George.
2 minutes.
Sam does such a good job of controlling a wrist or a knee when that open guard was hard for you guys to create scrambles and kind of wrestle up or come through him.
Good on.
Almost not just about to the 90-second mark in this match.
Sam really appears to be kind of hunting that cradle, trying to wrap over George's head. George wise to that, not letting him get that
90
control.
seconds.
Again,
Trying to pass here, and then the Granby roll to recover the guard.
almost with the pass.
George does a good job. I
One-legged,
just
almost.
don't know if Sam has it in him right now to really secure a pass. I don't know if it's injury related, energy related, maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah, I don't know at this point if he even really wants the pass. I just think he wants to put George in positions where George really can't attack a submission or come forward to him. And whether that's, half guard, closed guard, just, making him repummel from side mount. Maybe it's it might be his left leg, but yeah, one of those legs is not doing well.
1 minute.
Back to the center. Under a minute. I think George is going to try to dive for something, whether it's a leg or that arm lock again. I think at this point, Sam's just going to try to keep those hands in between, check the knees, check the wrists, keep him off his body, and get to that overtime.
We saw that Sam has a really, really good choke from the back. Haven't been able to see it in regulation yet, but from EBI overtime,
30
we've
seconds.
seen finish Enrique almost instantly with it last time around. So be interesting to see if George has an answer for that when it comes to
30
overtime
seconds.
here.
10 seconds
10
left.
seconds.
Looks like we are headed to overtime. One dive into. George shooting those submissions up.
And time. We're making it here to overtime. Good last flurry here from George to try to make something of it.
And this is to decide who fights Alan Sanchez for $2,400.
Yeah, this is for semifinals here. Okay, so first we're going to see George on the back here attacking Sam. Sam has shown really good defense here in his previous matches. Let's see how he can do against George's attacks here. Getting ready to get started here. And here we go, we're
Right
off.
away, George trying to get the body triangle, was not able to. Sam's almost too big. Sam's just hand fighting and trying to turn.
Able
There's
to get the body triangle here. Sam is really trying to get his back flat to the mat. He's on the right side now. He's on the side of the lock, so a little bit of pressure here on George's left.
George is just controlling
Ankle.
this point, not really looking for the choke. Just controlling, getting a little ride time, which again, Sam might be the big difference. Being smart in how you play the back. Don't get over aggressive trying to finish, but keep him stuck. George should be pretty fresh as he has looked great in his earlier fights. He hasn't had long matches as opposed to Sam being in this.
And really securing that body triangle really saved him some precious riding time here. Okay, now he's able to clear the arm. The back is flat to the mat. Sam is turning and he's out.
About 49 seconds of ride time for George. So a very good ride situation. We will see if Sam can get that choke.
Yeah, great ride time there.
Right away, George explodes. Sam's able to start fighting. He gets under the chin.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is tight. This is tight.
Yeah, this is tight. And
Sam's almost there. George is trying to fight his way out, and he
the
gets the
tap.
submission.
Same as Enrique, man. Wow.
What heart by Sam Barbosa.
Yeah, doing it all with an injured knee. Gets to the finals. Was able to secure the choke in the finals. Really good game.